everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I am back again to talk about this week's episode of the TLC critically acclaimed reality television program, the soon-to-be Emmy-nominated 1,000 Pound Sisters starring Amy, Tammy, all of their siblings, Mama Slaton, and now Tammy's new husband. And y'all, this week's episode was full of nonsense and also like serious things, but also lots of nonsense. Like, I just have so many notes of different clips I want to use from this week's episode that were just goofy, silly, and a fun time. So buckle up your seatbelts, besties, and let's get to. So in true 1,000 Pound Sisters fashion, time means nothing, and we're now back in rehab with Tammy, and it's been 4 weeks since her surgery. She has lost 40 pounds since surgery, and she's mostly gotten back to doing all of like the physical movement and walking that she had been doing in rehab prior to getting surgery. And she's so excited about like getting back to doing things and getting back to life, like going to a pet store.
I've been waiting years for surgery. Now, it is a brand new life. Instead of talking about what I want to do, I can actually do it. Go to the pet store, just do anything.
But regardless of whatever her goals are, I mean, if it's a pet store, it's a pet store. But regardless of all of those things, it's good to see her back up and moving and accomplishing all the things that she set out to accomplish. We also seeing her picking up and packing up her things with one of like her nurse assistants or something like that. They're packing up all the stuff, all of Tammy's belongings, because Tammy's been in rehab for 1 year and she's ready to go home. She's made plans to rent Amanda's house or her old house or something like that. Tammy's ready to fucking go. So then we see 2 weeks later, we see Chris and Brittany driving on down to go pick her up from Ohio. And by driving on down, I think it's more like driving to the east, but that's neither here nor there. I just think it's so crazy how much time has passed in this season, how much time it's really covered, because honestly, there's going to be even more time jumps in this episode, and I'm just like, what is time? What is time? And somebody did ask me to comment on how often it is that Chris calls his sister or sisters a bitch. And let me just show you, for example, in this one clip.
God help us, that bitch ever learns how to drive, she will never stay home. Which might be good, though, because then the bitch can just leave and not have to have somebody with her.
I don't know, I feel kind of conflicted because it's obviously how the family talks to one another. Like, Tammy is also often calling her siblings bitches. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's just like an interesting word to hear come out of anybody's mouth, and it really depends on the context and who you know, but it also, in particular, always sounds like a little bit weird coming from like a man or a male-identified person. So this particular segment anyway ends with Chris getting a call. It's clear that there's going to be some kind of news that's going to stop him and Brittany from going to pick up Tammy, and we'll get to see the end of that segment in the next segment, where we go to Amy and Michael's house, where Amy is doing crafts with Gage to make like a little welcome painting for Tammy when she gets home. And Amy tells us that Gage is learning how to be a big brother by learning really important lessons like this.
Gage just got to learn how to be a big brother. He's trying to figure out, if I touch him like this, am I going to break him type deal? Don't ride your car on his head, son.
That's very specific. It means that it probably happened.
Yes. Multiple times.
And I also just have to say, I let out a big, hearty chuckle when she looked at her son's painting and just said this with her whole entire fucking chest. Like, she was so confident.
Good job, baby. I think you're Mozart.
And I'm just like, Bestie, that's a musician. Anyways, Amy gets a call from Chris. Chris lets her know that the rehab facility called him and said, listen, Tammy has a trach infection and she's gonna have to be hooked up to an IV with antibiotics for 10 days. She probably wouldn't be able to come home at the soonest for another 2 weeks. So like, just so you know, like, stop driving here, don't come pick her up. I have to say, it really does feel like Tammy can't catch a break on this show or in life. It feels like if it's not one thing, it's another, and honestly, it worries the family that they won't be able to appropriately take care of her when she comes home. Now, we end up learning a lot more about this. Like, apparently, Amy and Amanda signed up to, like, learn how to be caregivers for her, but like they didn't really explain that really well, and you don't learn that until much later. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, why would they even agree to bring her home, period? Like, who's gonna take care of her? But apparently Amy and Amanda had agreed to like take some classes to learn how to appropriately be a caregiver for her. But anyways, this leads to the whole family getting together outside in some kind of like park looking situation type of deal. Even Mama Slayton is fucking there. And Amy lets us know it's been a week since they found out about the trach infection, and Tammy is still recuperating.
It's been a week since Chris tried to go pick up Tammy at rehab, and she's still recuperating from having an infection in the trach.
Now, really quickly, unrelated to Tammy, like this is the most unserious part of this, but really quick, unrelated to Tammy, I just need to say that I need Misty's shirt that says, "Thou shall not try me, mood 24/7. Because, like, ooh, I just love these corny-ass, chuggy-ass t-shirts. So don't be surprised when I find it on Amazon and I'm wearing it next week in my Slayton Sister review. And so they're all sitting outside, and our amazing poet laureate, Amanda, lets us know about the temperature outside.
It is hot as the devil's ass out here.
Amen.
That's what it says on the temperature gauge.
Is that what it says?
Devil's ass.
Which does make me think a lot about how often they're filming outside when seemingly they could be filming inside, but I'm guessing it's probably because none of these people want to have cameras exposing what's inside their homes, or like in this situation, maybe none of them have a large enough space to fit every single Slayton sibling and their mama. So anyways, this is where we get to the part where you kind of learn that Amanda and Amy had signed up to take care of Tammy, because Amanda ends up saying like, listen, I heard from the place that supplies the oxygen for like the life support ventilator machine that her trach is set up to or connected to. Listen, I'm not a medical professional. I don't know how all these things work or what all these words mean, but I'm kind of just trying to paraphrase what Amanda said. Anyway, she heard from those people and found out that Amy and Amanda were going to have to give up like a week of their time to do training just in order to be a caregiver to Tammy in the safest way possible. And I think even then they're worried that like they don't have a medical background, they don't have that kind of knowledge or experience, that like even if they get training they could mess something up or something could go wrong. And ultimately it seems like Amanda and Amy both just feel like that burden of having to be responsible for like the health and the life of their sibling is just too much. And remember how I talked about Chris calling Tammy a bitch? He's really doing a lot of it this episode.
The bitch has been blowing the phone up, begging, ranting, raiding, pleading for us to come get her.
So I don't know. I mean, I definitely get that it's a thing that they just do in their family, but I can see why people would want me to address it or like would have an issue with it in general. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, they get on a FaceTime call with Tammy to let her know, like, listen, this isn't gonna happen. You're gonna have to stay there because these people can actually help you. We are not equipped to do this. Tammy gets pissed.
I'm not staying in another facility.
Tammy, I don't think you have much of a choice right now.
I do have a choice. I know how to take care of it myself.
I'm curious to know how she thinks she can care for herself. I really am. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like, you know, she does unfortunately require people to help her. Not that that's like a bad thing, but I just don't see a world in where Tammy Slayton can take care of herself. She also says that she's gonna just leave if they don't come and get her.
You come here, be a resident. Y'all try doing it. It's not fun. It's not nice.
You have to have two
You come
caregivers.
and get me at the end of next week. I'm good. and I'll figure out my own way.
And I'm just like, how in the hell you think you're gonna leave, bestie? Where you think you're gonna go? What exactly are you gonna do? Because then you won't have anybody to be your caregiver, but also, like, it's not like you could just drive away. Literally, earlier in the episode, Chris was talking about how, you know, he hoped that once she got healthier, she could learn how to drive herself places. Like, I don't know what the fuck she thinks she's gonna do, and Amy agrees with me.
If she signs herself out, there ain't no, like, where are you gonna go? Like, who's gonna pick you up? She'd rather live on the street than be in a nursing home where she's getting 24-hour care, food, water, shelter. Hello, you want to sit on the side of the street? Your trache's gonna get more infected, then you get sepsis and die.
Which is also interesting because she does end up having to stay at the rehab facility and obviously doesn't go anywhere. So I'm kind of glad that her siblings have figured out, like, we don't have to just do every single thing Tammy wants us to do. Like, she's either gonna stay there and get the help she needs, or she's gonna go somewhere else on her own and see how she really can't do it by herself. And that was always a critique a lot of people had of the siblings in the first few seasons, is that, like, they all tended to enable her, and I think they finally just gotten to a point of, like, we can't keep doing this, like, you're gonna have to do what's best for you, and we're not gonna come at the drop of a hat to come pick you up, you're just gonna have to stay there and deal with it. I just want to point out that my Queen Amanda has fucking had it with Tammy.
I'm about to the point where I give zero. I feel like she don't give a damn what I've got going on in my life. I got a lot of going on personally too, as do the rest of us here. Does she even remotely feel bad putting us out? Or does she think we're being selfish because we're not able to stop our lives and put our lives on hold to go do what she wants us to do?
And honestly, I feel like Amanda is, like, the sibling on the show that has demonstrated the biggest heart. This is only, I think, actually her second season of, like, regularly appearing on the show, but it's clear that she just, like, cares so much for her siblings that I feel like if you somehow push Amanda to this limit, then, like, you really have done something to fuck her up. And listen, Amanda is a busy woman.
I'm doing the best that I can. Plus, I'm working. I have a child still in school. I'm still dealing with the after effects of a divorce. I'm not just sitting at home eating ice cream and potato chips, people, even though my ass might look like it.
So it makes sense that she is stressed the fuck out with Tammy's antics. And listen, I do want to say, because listen, if I'm anything, it's a Tammy Slayton apologist. I do want to say I understand probably where Tammy's coming from. She's literally been at this place for a year. She's been away from her family. She hasn't had, like, a place of her own home, like somewhere she can be comfortable all the time. I get why it's probably annoying to still be there. But it also really confuses me because if y'all remember at the beginning of this season, when she first got to the rehab facility, Amanda and Misty went to visit her one time, and they didn't know as much as they know now about her trach and all the care that's required of Tammy. And they wanted to take her out of the rehab facility for a day to just, like, do fun things with her. And Tammy was the one who put her foot down and said, no, if something happened to my trach, y'all wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I do think her judgment is a little bit clouded here in the sense that, like, she just wants out and she's only thinking about herself in terms of, like, what her most immediate want and need is. The next segment, we do get Tammy doing a little bit of reflecting by herself, where I think we do learn a little bit more maybe about where some of the miscommunication was happening between her and her siblings. She talks about how she wanted to just stay long enough to get the surgery, and she was planning on always leaving after she got the surgery and had recovered. But she also talks about how she feels like she was played by Amy and Amanda.
Amanda and Amy played me. They both agreed that they would get the training on my trach.
And so I did think it was kind of interesting because, you know, like, we didn't necessarily get the side of the story fully that, like, Amy and Amanda had told her, we are going to go through this training, we're going to do this for you so that you can come home. But even if they had made that agreement with her and told her they were going to do that, I think those things can still change when you get new information and find out that it's going to require a lot more work than what you initially anticipated. But she does make an ultimatum for her family.
But if my family want to be a part of my life, then they have to listen. I want respect. I deserve respect. Don't I deserve it? Am I that bad of a person? I know I can be a bitch.
And it's clear that Tammy truly, really feels hurt by this feeling of betrayal from her sisters.
It struck me to the core. Like, I never thought they would hurt me that bad, ever.
And I just feel like Tammy always has a hard time of seeing things outside of herself and seeing things that might be happening with the people around her. Like, I don't think she really realizes how much of a sacrifice that her siblings have made, because in her head, she's made this huge sacrifice for herself, right? Like, she's separated herself from her family for a year. She's given up so many things that she once loved in order to find some kind of health and happiness. And so in her head, like, I'm making all of these sacrifices. Why aren't my siblings doing the same for me? But the reality is that her siblings have sacrificed a lot. Like, how many times have we seen them make long trips to go visit her in the rehab facility, to spend time with her when she was getting the surgery, and things like that. Not to mention any of the other things that they've ever done for her in any of the other seasons of this show. And I don't think she realizes that she's putting a burden on Amy and Amanda in this situation. Like, Amanda did talk about, like, having to take time off from work to do this. She has a kid in school still. She has responsibilities. She's going through a divorce, etc. And we'll get to it later, but Amy is also really struggling with being a mom of 2 toddlers still, of 2 little baby kids. So it's clear that there's, like, miscommunication between what everybody wants in this situation, and I'm not sure what the solution is outside of just, like, general better communication between all parties. It ends up being a good thing for Tammy, so it's gonna be fine. The next segment we get is Amy and Amanda going to a spa, having a little mommy's day out situation type of deal. And with everything going on in their lives, Amy just needs a little something extra.
So I really need time away from the kids, away from my husband, and just chill and have somebody rubbing all up on me.
And while Amy's having a good time relaxing, Amanda's struggling to relax because of her very heavy chest piece.
I don't know. I can't hardly breathe. My tits are choking the hell out. My God. These things
You need a BiPAP just to get a massage
around my neck.
And Amy tries to help her get situated by telling her to put her face in a hole.
This hole is made for me to do like this right here.
No, the
face
hole
down.
is supposed to be made for your face to go in it.
Bitch, my face don't go in no type of hole. I don't know what you be doing in your house.
And what is it exactly that you know about putting your face in a hole, Amy? But listen, y'all, they are getting mud masks that are just specially ordered.
Where do they get the mud from?
Special order that I guess. It can't have no bugs and debris in it. It's chemical mud.
And despite the seriousness of Tammy getting upset about not being able to come home, this episode has so many dumb, stupid moments in it that I was just like, I gotta share this. I gotta share this dumb, stupid moment because it's so goofy. And I was laughing a lot this episode. They do have some serious times while they're at the spa. They do talk about Tammy and her disappointment in not being able to come home. But they reiterate that they just really don't want something bad to happen to Tammy because of them and because of their inability to, like, properly care for her. And I think I wish that that was the part that Tammy could see more, is that they're really just genuinely concerned about taking care of her and keeping her alive. They also have some mommy talk where Amanda asks Amy about how she's doing as a mom, and it's clear that Amy is struggling. She talks about trying not to cry in front of her children.
Right, and I try not to let the boys see me cry.
Well, my kids have seen me like that, but you know what my kids have also seen? That their mama loves them more than anything in this world. And that's what your boys see too.
Hey,
and there's
why you
nothing.
always get me in here crying?
Girl, listen, there ain't no shame in that.
And Amanda is such a good sister and also is probably speaking a lot from her own experience, but very supportive and saying, like, listen, it's like, chill for you to cry. People cry, and your kids seeing you cry is not going to be the end of the world. They know that their mom cares about them, and they will understand that. And this is just, again, another thing that Tammy is not realizing is happening while she's away in a rehab facility, is that Her sister Amy is struggling being a mom, let alone taking care of Tammy too. So anyways, the next segment happens a whole whopping 1 month later because time means nothing on this show. And Tammy's with her friends at the rehab facility. They're playing some games, and we learn that Tammy thinks that her friends at the rehab facility have done more to support her than the rest of her family.
My friends here support me more than the rest of my family.
And listen, I am a Tammy Slaton apologist, but it does irritate the shit out of me that she acts like her family members have not had to sacrifice or do anything to help support her, when that's pretty much all we've seen them do, especially this season, but throughout the entirety of this show. And we also get to meet Tammy's new boo, Caleb, during this segment. And y'all, some of this shit that's about to come up that I'm about to talk to you about feels a little unhinged to me. Like, apparently Tammy saved his life.
You know, the other day, Tammy actually saved my life.
How's that?
I mean, I was out of oxygen. I was sitting here hurting in pain, tears falling down my face, and she got me help.
But then also, Tammy's like, well, what brought you to this rehab facility? And apparently it was fucking Tammy.
What brought you here, though?
You. Okay, my best friend, his wife, she found some stuff on social media. Not just about you, but about this place in general. But yeah, just hearing about how well somebody's able to do, said, hey, I can do this too.
And I don't know, y'all. It just feels a little weird and uncomfy to me that this man, like, sought her out. Like, I get that the idea or what he was trying to communicate was that he felt somehow inspired by her story. Although prior to this season, her on the show, she was not an inspiration yet, right? Like, this season is really where she became an inspiration. So I'm not really sure what part of her social media presence prior to this season was so inspiring to him. And I think it just feels weird because it's like, we know that they get married. And so it's like, did you really come all the way to this rehab facility to find out a little girlfriend for yourself? And one of her friends at the rehab even called it creepy and called it out.
So wait, you looked at her social media and then you came in? What do they call that? Stalker vibes?
And his response was also weird.
I don't stalk, I do research, okay?
What do you mean I don't stalk, I research? Bessie, that sounds like stalker behavior to me. It really does. And then the wild thing about it is that, like, Tammy sees nothing wrong with it. She even literally calls it flirting.
I think he just flirted with me. Mommy a tad bit stalkerish. That I ain't mad at him.
And this is just, like, not what a healthy relationship is built on. It feels very uncomfy to me. I hope everything is fine for Miss Tammy. I really do. I really, truly do. I think she deserves the world. But it feels uncomfortable to me. It feels like a really weird premise for them to have started their dating situation type of deal. But anyways, apparently sparks were flying.
They try to hide it, but you can tell that sparks are flying.
Although I'm not sure that's what I'd personally call it. So now it's 1 week later. Amy, Amanda, and Chris are taking Gage to a pumpkin patch. Interestingly enough, Michael was nowhere to be found, and I'm wondering if we're going to just keep seeing less and less and less of him, but Amy does explain where he's at in this episode.
Well, Glenn and Daddy hang out together. Not real, he took him to his mom's.
And we get to see Gage going in and playing in some kind of like corn sandbox situation. And it gives us our one poop adjacent moment of the episode from Chris.
I've had enough of that in my butt crack before. I'm good.
It is really wild that we haven't got more poop in this episode because last week's episode had so much fucking poop. There is so many poop conversations. So they all get into the little corn pit with Gage, and Chris asks Amy how Michael's doing as a co-parent, and basically Amy's response is, I'm still mostly doing fucking everything. And Amy also talks about her weight loss goal from Dr. Proctor, and she talks about how, like, he wants her to lose 20 pounds, and she says she's essentially done that. And by essentially done that, she means she might have lost 5 pounds. And by that, she means, well, I've been exercising by playing with Gage, so I think I probably have lost 5 pounds. So I'm sure she really hasn't done a whole lot of anything. And thank God Amanda gets what I've been saying about the siblings on this show for the past 3 seasons. And she finally recognizes, like, I need to just mind my own business, although I would like to tell Amy what I think she should do about her weight.
But like, who the hell am I to tell my little sister what to do if I'm not really minding my business the way I need to? I don't think I know I've gained weight. I got a triple chin now, not just a double.
And in talking about her own struggles with her weight, we learn that she finalized her divorce in August, and we find out that her ex-husband was already engaged again by October. And listen, we've obviously never met this man on this television show, but I don't even care. I really don't. I'm gonna be riding for Amanda in this, so fuck that man. Fuck him. And then they have a conversation about Tammy's new boo, Caleb. And apparently, Amy and company found out about Caleb through social media.
So we found out on social media that Tammy's got this new boyfriend up in rehab.
Which I think is interesting because I feel like the rest of us on the internet didn't learn about Caleb until they were literally married and announcing the new season of 1,000 Pound Sisters. So I'm just like, where on social media were you seeing this? Was this some private social media page that we're not all privy to? I'm curious. And Amy thinks that Tammy needs to be working on herself first, and enjoying the little joys in life, all the wonders of the world, like eating snails.
And just be free to lose the weight and experience this new part of life. Like, hell, go eat escargot, bitch.
But I think most importantly, Chris is asking important questions about how do you even date in rehab?
That all set aside, how the hell you date in a rehab facility? What the hell they gonna do, rub tricks together?
That's foreplay.
Oh, hell.
And Bessie's, I was fucking choking on my laughter. Like, what the fuck goes through these people's minds? Like, why was that even your first thought? I'm dying. I was dead. I had to, like, pause the video and take a second to recover and just breathe. And then we end the episode with Tammy back in rehab, where we learn more about her relationship with Caleb. And somehow Tammy just knew Caleb was going to ask her to be his girlfriend. I don't know, I guess it must just be women's intuition.
I asked him if he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend. Like, I had a feeling. And he just kind of confirmed, that woman's intuition. I got it.
Tammy does point out that Caleb is in fact different than the other guys she's dated because he is bigger. And Caleb even takes some time to describe their first kiss to us.
Kiss the person that you're in love with, the whole world's supposed to move. That's exactly what happened. I gave her a small little peck and then she stood up. She went in for what she wanted. Leans in to kiss me. She hits the controller on my power chair. Next thing I know, my whole wheelchair just goes flying forward.
Ooh, how romantic, besties! We also get some backstory from Caleb. He says that he's always struggled with his weight, but in particular, it got worse when his mother passed and then also his father passed. When he came to the rehab facility, he was over 700 pounds and he's lost over 200 pounds while in rehab. So he has also made a lot of significant progress while being in the rehab facility. Tammy has finally come to terms with the idea that maybe staying in rehab was better because everything happens for a reason. And of course, the reason in this situation was that she was supposed to develop this relationship with Caleb. And then the episode ends where we see that Caleb has set up a little something special for Tammy. And by special, I mean he's going to propose to Tammy in the parking lot of the rehab facility.
I know without a doubt, you're the most beautiful, amazing, wonderful person in the world.
And once again, very romantic. Very, very, very romantic. And also, what's even more romantic? We find out that they have only officially been dating for 3 whole weeks prior to this proposal, besties. So, you know, love happens fast. It comes at you fast and love finds a way. So congratulations to the two of them. Obviously, we do know that they get married because that's how they literally announced the new season of 1,000 Pound Sisters. So I'm sure we'll see that soon enough. And that's basically how the episode ends. Tammy talks about how she's going to wait a few days to tell her family. She hopes they'll support her. But obviously there's going to be some conflict, and we even see that next week in the previews for next week's episode, that there's some conflict that's happening amongst the siblings and their overall questioning of like, what the fuck is Tammy doing? So that's it. That's all today. That's the whole episode. I really enjoyed this week's episode. I had so much fun watching it. Had so much fun talking with it about you all, and I can't wait for next week's episode. But that's all I got for today. So if you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Also, please consider leaving a comment, hitting like, clicking share, and following me on all my social media, including my Twitch channel, my merch shop, and also my Cameo. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!